product. This even kind of applies with computers, like printer ink, for example. You use your printer ink. Once it's gone, what do? You go out and you buy more printer ink. So in these types of markets, I do try to use newsletter lists to position myself so I can then, a couple months later, try to get them to make another purchase through me again. Now, in addition to some of the basic settings that I use on WordPress, there are a couple of particular plugins that I find myself installing on almost every website. The main one of these is SEO Ultimate. There is also another plugin out there that's free for SEO called All-in-One SEO. If you're using that one instead of SEO Ultimate, that's not a problem. Honestly, either of them are good plugins to use. SEO Ultimate is just the one that I happened to start using a number of years ago, and it's just what I've gotten used to and have stuck with ever since. And I get good results from using it, so I simply see no need to even attempt to use the other one, just because why would I? Now in SEO Ultimate, one of the cool things about it is that all of the different parts, all the different SEO elements that it can essentially do on your website, all of that is presented as these modules, and you can enable or disable these modules as needed. For example, if you have another plugin on your site that is doing the same thing as a part of this plugin, you can simply disable part of this plugin and then let the other plugin take over that feature. One of the primary things that I will find myself doing after I install this plugin is to actually go to the title tag rewriter. And when you first enter the page, for example, going down this list right here, it'll look like this. You'll have this blog tag added to the end of each of these text boxes, kind of like this one is down at the bottom here. I'll actually go through and remove that blog tag from almost all of these. You can see I leave it on my 404 error page title. No, Andrew, it's not paid. It's a free plugin. I'll show you how to get that in just a second. What this is doing here by removing this blog tag, the blog tag represents the blog homepage title. So for example, on this website, my blog homepage might be titled Down Comforter Guide. Well, I don't want to repeat the phrase Down Comforter Guide in the title of all the other pages throughout my website, because I feel like this gets borderline being keyword spam. So I will go ahead and remove that so only my home page is using my blog title. And then the rest of the pages of my site use their unique individual titles as well. Yes, Rhonda, as far as I have been able to tell over the years, the SEO Ultimate developers do seem to keep up with a lot of Google changes. They're constantly releasing new updates and adding new features to this plugin. So I do feel like they are still actively developing it and keeping everything up to date. Now, to get this plugin, all you have to do is on the left-hand side here under plugins, just go to Add New and just search for the plugin right here. Just type in SEO Ultimate or even Ultimate SEO. Either one, it'll bring it up. And all you have to do is just click on the install link right here, and it'll go ahead and install it on your site. And then just click on the Activate button to ensure that it is activated there. Let's see. The next thing I'd like to show you guys is, let me flip back over to this dog crate sizes site for you for just a minute. I wanted to talk to you about site structure. This is another aspect to building my websites that I feel like makes a big difference when it comes to the search engine rankings at the end. Thank you, Pat. Pat says, I have been on tons of webinars and nothing compares to this. And she says it's the first webinar with me. I have set the bar. If there's any indication of what my course will be like, I'll be registering for it. Thank you, Pat. Oh, and Andrew's gonna try out SEO Ultimate instead of All-in-One SEO, which he has used for years. I'd be curious to know what you think about it, especially since you've used All-in-One SEO for years and then we'll be making the switch over. I'd be curious to know what your opinions might be later on in terms of the differences between the two, and maybe even if you have a couple of different sites using either one, which one maybe you feel like is working better for you. The actual site structure on your web page. Now, what I'm referring to by site structure is all of the different pages that are on this website. There are not links for all of the pages directly through my menu links right here. To get to some of the pages on my website, you would actually have to go through another one of these pages first. For example, a category page for extra small dog crates. Then there are these more individual pages that can be found within that one particular category. The same thing kind of goes, like I have this pricing chart here that points to different sizes of the dog crates, and these actually go to individual pages on my site that promote a specific dog crate and size. All of this structuring that I have done here is actually being done to not just make your sites easier to navigate for your website visitors, to make them more user-friendly, but this is also being done for the search engines as well. You're organizing your content so that you have some pages on your site that are only accessed through a particular page on your site, for example, and that helps to pass the power along from those insignificant pages on your site to your category pages on your site, for example. So this is how I could have a bunch of different dog crate pages, for example, link them up with one of these size category pages, and then that helps to boost my rankings for these other secondary phrases that I've used on my site as well. Now, in that same regard, the WordPress system actually has a couple different ways that you can create the pages on your site. You can create standard WordPress pages, but then there are also these WordPress posts. Now, you may have heard me mentioning categories just a couple of minutes ago. There are WordPress categories that you can use where you create a category, you give it a name, and then when you're creating the post on your site, then you're sorting all of those posts into your categories. Now, the concept behind the category system in WordPress is what I am trying to achieve on my websites. However, I really don't like the way that WordPress does this, because if you are using the categories and the post system, then you don't have complete control over everything. To show you what I mean, for example, in this WordPress page, I have created like a tutorial category. Now, when you go and you view that category on your live website, as you can see, it is a standard blog style listing where it's listing each of your posts one after the other. the actual content of this page, you don't have any control over it. So you really can't add anything extra to this page. You can't change the title. You can't add your own custom article right here. You can't even display the posts in that category in a way that you would like to. How long did it take to make the dog crate site? It looks really detailed. 4 days, LJ. Granted, it was a long 4 days. But I created the initial site in 4 days. There have been some updates over the years to it since then, but most of the major work was all done initially in about 4 days, and the site was profitable, making money every month within about 3 or 4 weeks, and has essentially I want to say it took about 12 weeks for that site to get a #1 ranking, and it has essentially held it ever since. It's bounced back and forth between #1 and #2 a couple times over the years, but it usually ends up coming back to #1 in the end. While I have spent a lot of time to build my sites in one fell swoop, like how I built this website in 4 days. This isn't something that you guys have to feel like needs to be done. If you're working a full-time job, for example, obviously you might not have 4 days where you could sit down and build a complete site, but you know, each evening that you come home from work, for example, maybe try to take an hour and sit down and build one page on your website. And then over the course of an entire month, you should be able to get an entire website built. And if you're building one website every month, after just 6 months to a year or so, you can really start to build up a decent monthly income that makes you really feel like it is worthwhile for you. And once you start to get those payments coming in, it's self-motivational at that point. Your own drive to do even better starts to kick in, and it really just kind of snowballs from there. Did I know enough to write the text to start, or does my 4 days include research for the text? That 4 days did include research for the text, Scott. While I do have a dog and I know some information about dog crates and training and all that other stuff, I don't actually own a dog crate. I don't actually have really anything that is promoted on this website, and I really didn't know detailed information about that. That's another key thing here, guys. You don't have to know about every product that you promote. Go out there and research the product. Get in your car and go down to a local retail store that sells that product. Pretend to be a customer of it and make the salesperson teach you about that product. And then come back home and write up an article about it. It can really be that simple to learn new products and to provide useful information. Let's see. Do I have a flowchart of my site design that I can share? I don't know if I've ever created one of those or not, Stan. I like the idea. I might write that down and try to do that and have that something that I could make available in the near future. I know a lot of guys that are looking to get into this type of thing. The overall concept of everything can be a little bit overwhelming at first, so think something like a flowchart or a checklist, for example. I could definitely see how that could be useful. You're welcome, Stan. Thank you, LJ. Yes, the full course will be as detailed as this. Honestly, it'll probably be even more detailed, because I will actually be going through and doing all the work for you guys. The one thing that I'm not going to really do is I'm not going to sit there and type articles while you guys are watching. I'm going to go ahead and write articles ahead of time, but then I will explain what I've done in those articles and actually show you, how I put the whole site together. Yeah, that would be boring, wouldn't it, Stan? We're going to sit here for 2 hours while I type. All right, let's see. How am I doing on time here? I still got a little bit of time left. I'm going to go ahead and move on and show you guys a few things on Facebook real quick. Now, obviously, as I have talked about before, I use Google to bring in traffic to my websites through, thank you, Pat, through the keyword traffic, obviously, but then I can still do more effort beyond that and try to enhance the amount of traffic that I am getting on my website. And one of the easiest places that you can do that these days is through Facebook. Now, I haven't been using Facebook for years. I honestly avoided Facebook like the plague up until, honestly, earlier in this year. But since I have started using it more and really taken the time to go through it and to see what the possibilities are, I realized that there are a lot of really easy opportunities to get traffic to niche websites through Facebook. And the reason why is because Facebook is all broken down into likes and interests and categories and pages for you. So you can already get an indication of what other people might be interested in looking for, and you can grab those people and pull them over to your own websites. One of the easiest things that you can do, at least to get started, this can also help you, in addition to bringing in more traffic to your site, it can also help you to kind of build up a name for yourself within a particular niche, for example, is to create a Facebook group. Now, when you create a Facebook group, you're essentially creating a new Facebook wall where not only you but other people who have joined the group can go in and make comments, have conversations, post whatever you feel like posting. But by being the person that actually created that group, you're in control of everything. You can keep other people from posting advertisements in your group while allowing yourself to do so, for example. And people will actually go out there and search out groups themselves. Now, what you can do, go up into the search bar up here, and I'm just going to type in dogs, for example, just to give you an idea of what is out there. Now, when you just search the phrase, you're going to get a ton of different results. A lot of them will be fan pages and things like that. But what I'm actually more interested in are the Facebook groups. The Facebook groups, as you can see, here is a dogs group, which is an open group, which means that they will essentially approve anybody to join their group. So you could actually join it and go and interact with these 4,000 other members that are all interested in dogs. And then you have all these other groups. This one has 5,000 people. This one has 3,000 people in it. So, and honestly, there's tons more. You can continue within these general niches like dogs, for example. You could probably find hundreds of different Facebook groups that have people in them that are engaged in active conversation and are interested in a specific type of niche, which if you're promoting products in that niche or you have a website, then you can then bring people over. Maybe not even directly, invite them to join your own dog Facebook group, for example, and then within that group you can send your people along. Now, another thing is you can actually use Facebook advertising. Just really quickly, I want to talk to you guys about Facebook advertising and show you something here. With your Facebook ads, you can do a variety of things, such as, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to show you this in this browser. Hold on just a second. I need Google Chrome real quick. The reason why I'm using Google Chrome here is because there is actually a part to the Facebook advertising system that is only available to use using Google Chrome. So that is my reasoning here for switching browsers on you guys, and I want to show this to you real quick. Now, down here on the left-hand side, you have this link called Power Editor. This Power Editor is what you actually need to use Google Chrome for. You can't use Firefox and the Power Editor, for example. Now, what the Power Editor lets you do is to actually create audiences for your advertising campaigns. This thing's still downloading all of my existing advertising before I can show this to you guys. Let me flip back over to this other browser here while that's working. The custom audiences, the whole point surrounding that is you have these groups, for example, and then you have all of, your members in these specific groups. This group, has 4,000 members. Now, once you're actually joined up with the group and you're a member of it, this 4,000 member text right here will actually turn into a clickable link. You can click that link and then actually look at all of the members that are contained within that one group. Now, each Facebook user has an ID number. If you can see the very bottom left-hand corner of my screen, when I'm hovering over this link right here, there is a long number that starts with the number 10,000. ID is equal to 10,000, blah, 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 a whole bunch of other numbers that go with it. That is the ID number for this particular Facebook user. You can actually take a collection of all of these Facebook ID numbers. Why is this thing not done yet? And here we go. You can go into audiences right here, and you can actually create your own customized audience and use email addresses if you already know their email address that they're using in Facebook, if they're perhaps customers of yours or something. You can use the user IDs. These are the numbers that I was talking to you about just a minute ago. All you have to do is just create a text file and list these ID numbers one after the other one, and you can build these custom audiences. And then when you're creating your Facebook advertising, you can actually promote a specific advertisement to a list of audiences. For example, I've done this with some of my advertisements before right here. You can see that I'm promoting this particular advertisement only to these particular Amazon affiliate audiences that I've created. But the key thing to remember is that without creating these audiences, I might not have been able to target these people any other way like that. How can you copy the number if it disappears as soon as you move your mouse? Well, there's some different ways. The easiest way that I can show you how to do this, let me show you this real quick. You go to the profile page here. You can see sometimes it might actually already be located within the URL for their name. However, let me see if I can find another one that is not. Okay, this one is not. This particular person right here, you see there is no number up here. What you can actually do is, let's see, what's the word I type in? It's not group, it's graph. You type in graph. Let me reverse that for you guys so you can see this a little more clearly. Visit somebody's Facebook page. Once you're on their Facebook page, on their wall, highlight the www in the address right here and just type in the word graph. Now when you go to this page, it's going to give you information about this user. You can see the ID is right here up at the top, but you could also see their name off of here or find out their gender. If you're looking for people only for specific countries, you can even pay attention to the locale down here and try to pick out only your U.S. members, for example. Yeah, that is pretty cool, Will. So you could go through and collect these IDs right here and make yourself a list of them. Really, even only having a list of a couple hundred of these IDs that are highly targeted to your niche can really turn into a pretty decent advertising campaign. A couple hundred people for an audience is plenty enough to be able to bring in some traffic for you. Now you could promote your own websites, or you could even promote, for example, your Facebook group. If you have created a Facebook group about a particular topic, instead of just sending people to your website and hoping they buy something and then they're gone forever, try to get them to join your Facebook group so you could then promote to them over and over and over again in the future without having to spend money on advertising. Using this method by creating your custom audiences, you can often get really low bid amounts on your clicks, for example. You can oftentimes bid 10 cents a click or even less. I've had some instances where I'm getting my clicks for 1 or 2 pennies for every click, and obviously then I could, if you can drive 100 people to a Facebook group for a penny per person, then it doesn't matter if only 5 or 10 of those people end up signing up for it, which is just a rough example number. Even if it's the advertising is performing very poorly, if you can send 100 people for $1 or $2, it makes it obviously pretty reasonable to do. Yes, though. Oh, you use the custom audiences, Pat? I use them all the time for Amazon affiliate type of stuff, and also for even general advertising for like products that I am developing as a marketer. I sometimes even will run these freebie webinars and pick up people for those through these Facebook ads and the custom audiences as well. You can even, now getting into webinars is a little bit more of an advanced topic, but on down the line, if you do have a good audience for yourself for a particular niche, you could even run webinars for those people and, to teach them about specific topics, and then maybe to show them how to use something in particular, and then try to get them to complete a purchase on that after the end. Now, the links on Facebook. What you will actually need to do to be able to